All right, so get this. Imagine trying to figure out someone's stance, like on electric cars, just from what they're saying online, like their tweets or blog posts.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
Interesting.
Stance detection.
Okay.
It's like a digital detective for opinions,
Mm.
and it's a key part of natural language processing.
It's fascinating stuff, when you think about all the text data out there, like social media, news articles, reviews,
Right.
stance detection could help us instantly analyze all of that information
Yeah,
and really get a grasp on public opinion on virtually any topic.
exactly. And we're not talking about some far-off future tech either.
Nope.
We've got a research paper right here,
Oh, cool.
published December 3rd, 2024,
Very recent.
from Konkuk University in South Korea.
Okay.
And these researchers are really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with stance detection.
Yeah, they're really tackling some of the big limitations head on.
Like what?
Well, one of the things that they're looking at is the issue of understanding the reasoning behind a stance, the why.
The why.
Yeah, and that's been a big problem for traditional methods.
Okay, so walk me through that. What's wrong with the way we've been approaching stance detection up until now?
Well, imagine trying to understand a complex debate, but the only source you have is Wikipedia.
Oh, wow.
That's essentially what older models have been doing.
Okay.
And as we all know, Wikipedia can be a bit patchy, sometimes outdated,
Yeah,
doesn't always capture all the nuances
right.
of an argument.
It's good for a quick overview, but I wouldn't want to base my whole understanding on just Wikipedia.
Exactly, especially
Oh.
for a topic that's, constantly evolving and changing.
Right, exactly. And you were saying that these older models have another problem too.
Yeah. On top of that, they often struggle to explain why someone holds a particular stance.
Hmm.
They can tell you if someone is for or against something, but not the reasoning behind it.
So they're missing that crucial layer of depth.
Yeah.
It's like you see the conclusion of a detective's investigation, but you don't understand how they got there.
Right, exactly.
So what are these researchers proposing instead?
Well, they're turning to what you might call the brainiacs of the AI world.
Okay.
Large language models, or LLMs.
The LLMs.
Things like GPT 3.5 and GPT 4.
The ones that can like write poetry and code and answer any question you throw at them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're known for their ability to process information and reason in a way that's much closer to how humans think.
Right.
But there's a catch.
What's that?
They're incredibly resource intensive.
Uh,
So imagine like you have access to a brilliant professor,
okay.
but they can only meet with you for a couple hours a week.
Oh,
And it has to be in like this giant expensive lecture hall.
got it.
That's kind of what it's like working with these LLMs.
So not super practical for everyday use?
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Is there a way to get that LLM level insight without needing a supercomputer?
Well, that's precisely the problem these researchers set out to solve.
Okay.
And they've come up with this new model called Logic Key.
Logic. Okay, I like it.
It stands for LLM-originated guidance for internal cognitive improvement.
So it sounds like they're finding a way to like bottle that LLM genius and make it accessible to everyone, make it work for smaller, more practical models.
That's a great way to put it. And they're doing it through two key innovations.
Okay. Lay it on me.
All right, so first, instead of relying on that sometimes spotty information from Wikipedia logic, taps into the power of LLMs, but it uses them to create very concise and accurate summaries of a topic.
So it's like getting a cheat sheet from the smartest kid in class.
Exactly.
Okay.
But here's where it gets even more interesting.
All right.
With something called reasoning distillation.
Reasoning distillation.
Yeah, essentially what they're doing is they're training a smaller, more efficient model to think like an LLM.
Wait, hold on. You can teach a model to think like another model.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's crazy. How does that even work?
They basically feed this smaller model examples of how the larger LLM reasons through a problem step by step. So you can kind of think of it like, training a mini expert by showing them the thought process of a master.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, this allows logic to be much more efficient without sacrificing accuracy.
So it's not just mimicking the answers.
Right.
It's understanding the whole thought process.
Exactly.
Wow, that's awesome. What kind of results are they seeing with this approach?
Well, they put logic through its paces on a data set called VST,
Okay.
which is specifically designed for stance detection.
Oh,
And the results are really impressive.
like what?
Not only does logic consistently outperform existing stance detection models,
Wow.
but it also beats GPT 3.5 and GPT 4 in terms of accuracy.
No way. So
Yeah.
the student is surpassing the master.
It seems that way.
That's amazing. It sounds like logic is more than just efficient. It's actually better in some cases.
It really is. And what's even more impressive is that logic can work with very limited data.
Oh, wow.
And it can even predict stances on topics it's never encountered before.
That's incredible, adaptable, efficient, more accurate than some of the most advanced LLMs out there. Where do we go from here? What does this mean for the future of stance detection?
That's a great question, and that's exactly what we'll be diving into next.
Awesome. Can't wait.
This research has implications that go way beyond just analyzing opinions online.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's get into it.
All right, so we've got this model, logic, that's efficient, accurate, adaptable, but I need to know more. How did they actually put it to the test? What makes them so confident about these claims?
Well, as I mentioned, they used a data set called VAs,
Right.
which is specifically designed for stance detection.
Okay.
And they tested logic in what are called zero-shot and few-shot scenarios.
Right. So zero shot means the model's going in totally blind. It's never seen this topic before. And few shot means it only had a handful of examples to learn from. It's like a real test of its ability to generalize, apply its knowledge.
Precisely. And they didn't just test it against other stance detection models.
Oh.
They also went head-to-head with those big LLMs we were talking about.
Right.
GPT 3.5 Turbo and GPT 4 Turbo.
Wow, throwing down the gauntlet right there. So how did logic fare against those heavyweights?
It exceeded expectations in both zero-shot and few-shot scenarios. It consistently outperformed those big LLMs in terms of accuracy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable when you consider the vast difference in computational resources.
It is. It really highlights how size isn't everything in the world of AI.
So it seems like logic's targeted approach, focusing specifically on stance detection is giving it a real edge.
That's a key takeaway.
Huh.
They also found that those auxiliary tasks we discussed, things like target prediction and reasoning generation, played a crucial role in logic's performance.
So it's like giving the model different mental workouts
Exactly.
to strengthen its overall reasoning capabilities.
Yeah, like cross-training.
Interesting. So it's not just about feeding it data, it's about training it to think in a more sophisticated way. Did the researchers have any insights into why logic performs so well, especially compared to the LLM?
They believe it comes down to specialization. While LLMs are incredibly powerful, they're also very general purpose. They're jacks of all trades.
Right.
Logic, on the other hand, is a master of one.
Stance detection.
Exactly. It's designed from the ground up for this specific task.
Makes sense. Like comparing a general practitioner to a specialist, sometimes you need that deep expertise in a particular area to get the best results.
Exactly. And that specialization, combined with the innovative techniques they're using, makes logic a real game changer in the field of stance detection.
This is all incredibly exciting, but I want to take a step back for a moment and consider the bigger picture. If a machine can now understand the why behind an opinion, what does that tell us about the nature of human communication and persuasion?
That's a profound question.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about the future of online discourse. Could we reach a point where algorithms can not only understand our opinions, but also predict how they might evolve or even be manipulated?
It's both fascinating and a little bit unsettling. We're essentially developing machines that can analyze and potentially influence something as deeply personal as our beliefs. What are your thoughts on that?
It definitely raises some important ethical considerations, especially as this technology continues to evolve. We need to be mindful of the potential for misuse, whether it's targeted propaganda, the spread of misinformation, or even more subtle forms of manipulation.
It's like we're opening up a whole new frontier, not just in technology, but also in our understanding of human behavior and the nature of belief itself.
Absolutely, and this research is just the beginning. Imagine the possibilities if we can apply these techniques to other areas of language. Understanding we could analyze political discourse, track social movements, or even gain deeper insights into the psychology of decision-making.
The possibilities are truly mind-boggling, but before we get too carried away with the future, I want to make sure we've covered all the key aspects of this research. Is there anything else about logic's design or performance that you think is important for our listeners to understand?
I think we've covered the main points, but there is one thing I'd like to emphasize. The success of logic highlights the importance of not just bigger and more powerful models, but also more focused, targeted approaches. Sometimes less is more.
That's a great point. It's a reminder that innovation isn't always about brute force, but about finding elegant and efficient solutions to complex problems. And logic seems to be a shining example of that.
Couldn't agree more. This research is a testament to the power of human ingenuity, and it gives us a glimpse into the incredible potential of AI to not only analyze but also enhance our understanding of language and reasoning.
Well said. And it's clear that this is just the tip of the iceberg. As this technology continues to evolve, we're bound to see even more groundbreaking applications in the years to come.
Yeah.
It really feels like we're on the verge of a major shift in how we think about communication, especially in the digital age.
Yeah.
Like if we can build machines that understand not just what we say, but the why behind it,
Right.
does that change how we approach debate or even how we form our own opinions?
It's a fascinating question to consider.
As this technology advances, imagine a world where you could analyze the reasoning behind anything like a political speech, a marketing campaign, even just a casual conversation.
Hmm.
It could give us a whole new level of insight into the persuasive techniques being used and how they affect us.
It's almost like having a real-time BS detector,
Yeah,
able to see through the rhetoric and understand the underlying motivations.
exactly.
But wouldn't that also raise concerns about manipulation? Like, if we can understand how persuasion works at this level of detail, couldn't it be used for, less than noble purposes?
Absolutely. That's the flip side of the coin. The same technology that could empower us to be more discerning consumers of
Hmm.
information could also be used to manipulate us in ways we might not even recognize.
Right.
It really underscores the need for ethical guidelines and regulations as this field develops.
So it's not just about advancing the technology, it's about ensuring it's used responsibly. It seems like we're going to need a whole new set of digital literacy skills to navigate this landscape. I think you're right. We need to be aware of the potential for bias in these models, the ways they could be used to spread misinformation or reinforce existing prejudices. It's a challenge that will require collaboration between researchers, policymakers, and the public.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of stance detection and logic.
It has.
It's clear that we're just beginning to explore the potential of AI to understand human language and reasoning at a deeper level.
Yeah, it's a field that's evolving rapidly, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds. We've moved beyond simply processing words on a screen to actually understanding the nuances of thought and persuasion. Who knows what breakthroughs await us?
It's certainly given me a lot to think about. I'm already looking at online content differently, considering the why behind the words, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way.
I hope so. The goal of the deep dive is to spark curiosity and critical thinking. If we can equip our listeners with the tools to analyze and evaluate information in this new world, I think we've done our job.
Well said. A big thank you to our expert for guiding us through this complex topic, and to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop diving deeper into the world around you.